cast of thousands up here. Bojan Djordjic, David May, Brian Robson, and of course Paddy Crowand. Wonderful to have your company. We're looking forward to another day at training, aren't we, Paddy?
Yes, Pep, we couldn't say the same about your company. No, we couldn't.
No, you're not.
No, he's definitely not. And I tell you, that's the first time Paddy smiled all day, so I'm delighted with that.
No, it's another difficult day for the players with the heat that's here. It's very, very difficult for them.
A lot of the training session, weren't we, Robbo? And looking at how the players were dealing with the sessions put on by the staff, it's clear that they're going to be
warm up really quickly and they get into the training session. Obviously you're going to lose weight and then you've got to put it back on with a fluid, but you know, as far as I'm concerned, this is great conditions to be doing a pre-season training, and the manager's always assessing them, and like today he's given them a hard session this morning, he's going to, but then he's going to give them the afternoon off so then they can relax and recover.
Yeah, we can turn around here and have a watch of the training session behind us. These are, of course, live exclusive pictures. It is to make sure that these players really get put through their paces, put through the ringer, but at the same time, you've got to sometimes say, OK, you've done well here, you've got to have some time off, you've got to strike the balance.
Well, the boys have done double sessions since they've been here. And, you know, when you were a player, you remember sort of the afternoon sessions are really difficult trying to get into them because you're a bit stiff because you know your fitness isn't 100% there, so you get stiff and you're a little bit sore. So sometimes the manager has got to gauge that, because the most important thing about pre-season is you get through it without any injuries. You know, so the manager's got that much experience, and that's why he's given them this afternoon off.
One man who loved a double session in his day was David May, who's here as well. Maisie?
Stowler, yeah. Can't beat a good double session. Yeah. Not so sure about the running sessions or anything like that, but yeah, it's as Robbo said, it's all important. It's all about getting ready for the beginning of the season. You know, you've got 7 or 8 games pre-season, the training, but yeah, it's all about getting fit, and it's tough. But sometimes, you know, a half a day's rest.
Like of training for these players, Bo, is that
I can barely hear you, Dave. They're so far away.
That's probably the best way, in fairness. There are a lot of people who wish they couldn't hear me. The games are right around the corner now, aren't they? We start against LA Galaxy on Saturday. 5 games in America, 2 more in Europe at the end of the tour, and then of course the Super Cup before it all kicks off in the Premier League.
Yeah, but that's because this first week is very important, because this is the only week they have for training. When the game starts, they are every other day is almost a game. Then the training sessions are going to be lighter. They're not going to be put through the same work amount as it is this week. Like Maisie said, they have the afternoon off, and all that dry running that we used to do before, it's out of the window. Everything is short and sharp now. It's very intense. The players are tired, and sometimes the leg and the head need that afternoon rest to actually come back tomorrow and feel fresh and feel fitter, because everybody wants to play the games, and they're going to treat them like training sessions. The manager said to us as well, or not to me, but that everybody's going to get their minutes against LA Galaxy in real Salt Lake City, and it's important, especially for the young players down tour, to be with them first teamers on the pitch and get that valuable experience.
Yeah, we're going to be hearing, by the way, from Daley Blind very shortly, who I caught up with just before training. That in a little while, but we're talking about matches and things like that, Paddy. I know you're itching to pick up that commentary mic and get stuck into these pre-season tests.
The thing about players want to play, and the players want to play in every game. They don't want to play in 1 game or 2 games. They want to play in all the games. So you've got that competition for places for the first game of the season, and this is all the hard work where it goes in. Who's going to play the first game of the season? What's the team going to be? They'll all want to be in it. Well, they can't all be in it. So they have to impress the manager on this tour.
Well, I suppose that's a good point, in the sense that we've brought 2 players in, 2 first-team players in now in Lukaku and Lindelof, and no one who's sort of in the first-team picture, mainly last season, has gone out on been sold. Obviously, Zlatan isn't with us at the moment. It might return, might not, depending on what you believe from the papers. But the squad is growing, which means that the quality is growing on the bench as well as in the actual team, Robert.
Well, it's really important. You know, I go back to my days, you know, under Ron Atkinson when we were first at the club, and people say, why didn't you go on to win the title? And for me, it was because the squad wasn't quite strong enough when we got a lot of injuries. You know, then Sir Alex comes in, builds a terrific squad, not just a team, and so you go on to achieve things. And when you look at us last year, you know, we fell away in the title race, or just getting into the Champions League position, because the squad was probably not quite strong enough to take on all the challenges that we had last year. So I think the manager realises that, and that's why I think I would have made exactly the same decision. I wouldn't have allowed too many of the players to go. We've got a real good squad. It's developing. It's getting better all the time. So why let players go when you know that you're going to need them at some stage of the season?
One player who has left the club, and we wish him all the best in his future career, Adnan Januzaj. This team obviously hasn't quite worked out. I think in his statement he released on Twitter yesterday, sort of said, it hasn't worked out the way I wanted it to. But
there's only Adnan who could look back in his United career and actually ask the question, did he try his best? Was there a time in his career when he thought, I've made it, and it's that time when only he could answer. But you wish him, you wish Wayne the best, because whoever serves this club in any capacity deserves to go on and be successful and enjoy football. Wayne's gone away now, and he's going to be enjoying his games at Everton, and Adnan now over in Spain. So you have to wish him well. Yeah,
Wayne, who's already put one in the back of the net for Everton and is starting life back in his first club of training over the course of the last few days here. So does this bring back memories of being in the squad for you, being in the team, the training you've done?
Training is not rocket science, but it's always nice when the ball is involved in warm-up, because every player wants to get that touch. I used to really hate it when it was just dry running. It was no ball around. It was the old school type of stuff. Now the players are enjoying themselves more. They're working equally as hard. They are getting fitter. It's a long time ago I've been actually on a tour that I saw our first team come back so fit and do so sharp at day 2 and 3, but they started from day 1. My memories bring me back, of course. My only pre-season tour for the club was in 2004 when we went to America. That was the experience himself, but they don't have Roy Keane down there, so Roy Keane made sure you were on your toes when you played the little small-sided games or the possession, because he was a man you feared but you respected, and players like that are long gone. I miss players like that.
I think that's what Josie's trying to get back into this squad, isn't it, Maisie? The characters, the strength of mind, as well as the strength in the tackle. We look at players like Eric Bailly, who obviously is strong at the back there. He's a bit of a leader now, turning into that all.
Robbo will agree, and Bojan and Paddy. To win things, you have to have a togetherness in a team. We had it when I was playing. You have a great dressing room. You have a good laugh. You go out together. You socialise together. It's a little bit more difficult nowadays, but it's all about that team bonding. Coming away for 2 or 3 weeks is a perfect example to do that. Yeah, there are some characters there, but you need characters in any squad. They are. I mean, there's Michael there who's obviously 35, 36. Other than that, the rest are quite young, so potentially they could be for the next 3 or 4 years. If they keep progressing the way they are doing, they could become a very, very powerful outfit. And the 2 additions, 23, 24-year-old, Jose's doing that, and it's boding well for the future, having a good, really powerful squad.
When you look at the squad, though, the lads are not losing much fitness nowadays. I mean, they've had, like, after the Europa Cup final, the lads had 3 weeks off before they started training again. In 3 weeks, you don't lose much fitness. I mean, years ago, you'd maybe have 6 or 8 weeks where you'd have a break, and that's where you lose a lot of your fitness, don't you? It's harder to get back, Dave.
Yeah, and it's as you were saying there, a lot of it was long distance running, burning the fat off, burning the calories down, and getting rid of those too many beers you probably had on your summer holidays. But now, you're away. The majority of lads, as you said, Robbo, about being away international duty, they get 3-4 weeks off, 4 weeks maximum really, and then they're straight back into it. So it's just a case really of just tuning again and getting your base right for the start of the season.
I think a strong squad of players is very, very important, and the injury list as well can be important. When you think, Brian, going back those years ago, you should have won the league by a mile. Do you remember the first were as good as the players that get injured? And we failed away, and I think we finished 5th or 6th or something in the league. Should have won it by a mile. Yeah,
that's right, Pat. But that's what we said. The squad's got to be strong. So when you do get your injuries and your suspensions, that you move on and you can still get the results. And unfortunately, in '85, around that time, we didn't quite have a strong enough squad.
No, the injuries. Injuries.
There's excited to have someone else up here at watching training with us. Dominic Monaghan, star of stage and screen and big, massive United fan here. How are you?
I'm good, man. Yeah, got caught in a little bit of traffic, made me sweat a lot in the car, but apart from that, I'm all right.
Don't worry, you're not the only one sweating up here. That's been what I've been doing all week. Good to see you, though. What are you up to at the moment?
I'm putting together a few things. I'm actually putting together a show about the Premier League, which hopefully will happen next year. I want to go week in, week out with this show. The American audience, or the American people that are trying to buy the show from me, don't understand why we need to go week in, week out. And I'm trying to educate them, like, well, if we're doing a show about United and Lukaku gets injured, we need to mention it, or any player that gets injured. So we're trying to bring them up to speed with that. They're still a few years behind in terms of how we feel about football shows in England. Apart from that, I'm doing a nature show, doing a show about India, probably do a film in Italy at the end of the summer.
And of course, we've seen you here on MUTV with Juan Mata, your good mate.
Yeah.
A good programme talking about life and about your two experiences.
Yeah, I should see if you can find a meditation practice, because it's an amazing thing to do. So I was asking him about that, asking him about food, asking him if he has any free time while he's in LA, if he wants to do anything. So I think Saturday night we might do something. But it's just great to see the fellas, and everyone just looks so sharp. I've never seen the team look so sharp at this point in pre-season.
Yeah, well, we can turn around and carry on watching this now as we see these exclusive picks here on MUTV. What's it like for you to come to these sessions? Because you've been here before, you've been around the team before, but how much do you enjoy a day like this?
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, you know, I love football so much, and I love watching these guys. You don't realise just what physical specimens they are, you know, what elite athletes they are. You play football at school with your mates and you think you're in some way average. And you see someone like Rashford, he's just such a physical specimen. Lukaku, obviously, Pogba, and to watch their speed, to watch how sharp they are, you wouldn't know what you're doing. You've got two left feet, you know. But I mean, I think the Lukaku thing is the thing that me and all my mates are the most excited about. To see him link up with Pogba, and the fact that he can hold the ball up so well means that Rashford's going to get the opportunity to run by him, you know. So I think we've got a good chance to go for the summit this season.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. I think there are a few people who think that here, not just on the pitch, but watching here today. Julia Roberts, the film star, has been here at training recently. She's here again today, having a little look at how things pan out with the players on the pitch here. And it's nice to have you guys, the sort of celebrity world as well as the sporting celebrity world. Yeah,
I said to Julia when she got here, to all the kids are all wearing United shirts, I said, how come you guys are United fans? Because, you know, I thought maybe her husband was English or something, but he's American. And they just said, football, you know. But there's Manchester United fans far and wide, you know. When I go travelling, if I go travelling on my own, I only take United shirts, because you're going to meet people on the streets of anywhere you go, because everyone's, like, interested in Manchester United. It's as popular a trademark as...
You're all kind of part of that, the building of the brand over the years.
I don't like that word, actually, Brian. We're supporters. We're not a brand. The most important people at Manchester United are supporters. Actually, I don't think they like the word brand.
Paddy Crerand is a brand.
Did you like that, Dominic? You're a brand.
I'm not saying anything. You know what I meant, Mr. Crerand. You know what I meant.
I think 500 million and then up to 680 million of fans around the world. Everybody wants to be a little bit of part of that, and especially if the team still have success. Because we've always got to remember that the team have to win trophies. Yeah. So then more.
Yeah. You shoot your head any quicker, it'll drop off. yes. Agreeing with everyone.
What I love about United, coming to United, is like everything's set up to win. You know, everything about it is so classy, and even you know, in the dressing room and behind the scenes, all the stuff that the fans don't see. When I've been lucky enough to see that, it's all set up to win. All those pictures say, this is what United's about. We're about winning trophies, winning matches, last-minute goals, you know. Incredible team to support.
I think it's also very important to tell the youngsters that are Manchester United supporters about the history of the club, so they recognise even the older players. Because yes, it's a massive club, but when you're inside, it's like a family, and the family makes you stronger. It's a unity that wins you trophies. And this club, even if it's pressure to win things, if you're a winner, you are a Manchester United player, you should cope with that pressure, because the best players, doesn't matter, even actors have to deal with that pressure to get the best movies, or to search and see what your club is all about. Not just after '99, there was a Manchester United even before then.
Yeah, it's a good point, actually. And I suppose the challenge for these players on the pitch now, as we see training sort of change around a little bit, Rui Faria, the assistant manager here, just changing things around, making the pitch do what he wants it to do, to try and get these players up to speed so that they can keep the history going at the club and also get that league title back, Dominic, which everyone associated with the club wants to see.
Yeah, I mean, I was so lucky to be, a teenager in those kind of one of the real golden ages of Manchester United, the class of 92 in Giggs, Chelsea and City and Tottenham and those type of teams now. I think probably City, Chelsea and Tottenham are the teams that on paper you think that's going to be a bit of a challenge, but we should be all over Arsenal and Liverpool this season, no question, and there's a lot of teams in the Champions League.
Good job you didn't say Liverpool there. Because there's a big pile of steps there, you'd have been flying down.
I'm excited that we're in the Champions League as well. It's been really sad for me to not really check in with the Champions League until the kind of knockout stages, because I'm not interested unless United are in it. So to see United in it is really great for me, and I am really, really into the Lukaku idea. I think I've made a bet with my friend. My friend doesn't think he's going to score 20 goals this season. I said he absolutely will score 20 goals this season.
Smash 20 goals.
Yeah.
Smash 20 goals.
Steak dinner for me on that one.
Yeah. Well, I know you're looking forward to seeing him in action, aren't you, Maisie? After all of the skill and the goals that we've seen in an Everton shirt from Romelu Lukaku.
Well, a lot of people question his first touch and stuff like that, but playing at United and the coaches that are around him, he'll get that experience, he'll get that work to make sure his first touch is better. He's got to do that, yeah. But do you know what? As Dominic just said there, he'll guarantee you 20 goals. Guarantee you 20 goals. If he's injury free, he's a big, powerful unit. He can run centre halves all over the pitch and not just score himself, but create chances and create goals for other players. He's just a physical presence. So much as we had Zlatan last year, the out ball we have now is to play it over the top, and Paul Pogba's got an unbelievable range of passing, and them two could be absolutely incredible this season for us.
The thing is, Pat, I was just going to say, Dave, the thing is that people always try to pick little holes in players, and we're talking about maybe it's Lukaku's first touch. What about the other strengths that he's got? That power, that pace that you're talking about. And I tell you what, some of the goals he scored for West Brom and for Everton, where he'd take on players, one or two players, go past them, and then slot a goal in. So you've got to look at those strengths as well as weakness. Players have always got to.
Our big problem last year was putting the ball in the back of the net. That was our big problem last year. Our goal scoring was dreadful last year. I don't know how bad it was if you go back down through the years.
I think we've got to the point now, guys, where we need to stop filming the training, because there's always a bit that the club wants to do in private. So we'll leave the training there for a second. But I know that we want to catch up with one of the players out there, Daley Blind, who I spoke to just a short while ago. Spoke to him about training, but also about the sad news coming out of Ajax. Midfield had serious and permanent brain damage as well. All of our thoughts, of course, go to him and indeed the club and anyone affected by him, his family and his friends. But I caught up with Daley a short while ago, and here's what he had to say. Daley, good to see you. I know we should start by reflecting on the news coming out of your form.
Honest, it's hard to describe how I feel, how I think the people in Amsterdam and I think the whole football world feel about this. He was such a big talent, and he was a great person as well, as how I know him. I did not play a long time with him, but I had a few training sessions and a couple of games. I don't know what to say, to be honest. I just feel very sad, and I wish his family, his friends, and everyone who is involved with him and standing close with him all the best and all the strength that they need.
Certainly at a time like this, the football world sort of rallies round, doesn't it, to try and help people out. Indeed, in the same way the football world keeps on spinning, doesn't it? You've got training here today, which is something that you still have to focus on.
Of course, makes it a bit harder though, because something happened like that. Football is not important anymore. Football is something we all love, but this is something what is going further than that. And what I say, football is not that important anymore if something happened like this. So I want to say again, all the strength and all the thoughts are with him. And of course, when the work's going on in the pitch, you have to do it. But on days like this, it's not the easiest.
Indeed, and I suppose it's been physically tough out here training as well, hasn't it? Apart from obviously the mental side in the last 24 hours or so, but the physical side here in the conditions, in the weather and everything. How's it been going for you?
Yeah, it's been tough. The weather is quite hot, especially the first days. And I think that we trained very well, very hard, and it's good. Always you feel better after it. And I think we had managed some good sessions in, so it's a good start of the season. Yeah.
And the coaches here have been putting on all kinds of exercises to keep you sharp in terms of fitness, but also mentally sharp as well.
It's a big change in exercises. Sometimes we just work hard and then work on our condition, and sometimes it's more tactical part of the pitch. So you combine that together, and it keeps you sharp and awake and prepared at the best we can for the next season.
We wish you well. Thank you, Daly. Cheers. We do wish Daly well and thank him for talking to us this morning on what's a difficult morning for everyone associated with Ajax Football Club. And also our thoughts go out to Rio Ferdinand at this stage. It's been announced this morning that his mother has passed away after a long battle with cancer, and of course Rio is very much part of the Manchester United family, and our thoughts are with him and Anton and the rest of the family there as well. It really does, at a time like this, put football in perspective. We love coming on these tours, of course, watching these training sessions, preparing for the matches, but on a morning like this you sort of take a moment to think and to think about life in general, don't you, and guys affected by things like that.
I think what it is, Dave, is that you've got to look at all football clubs. Eggeorg, what happened to him, and it shows that it's so important to have these checkups and medicals when you're doing intense training like the boys are, because there's been a few too many heart problems now, and it can be checked, and what you need to do is catch that early diagnose.
But Brian, to be fair, nobody ever thinks about ball dying young or doing stuff. They all think they're as fit as anything. And
there's also that, because recently we've been touched by tragedy in Manchester with the terrorist attack in the arena. It is worth pointing out, in the game between Manchester United and Manchester City, the two clubs will be wearing shirts with the Manchester B embroidered into the shirt, which is fantastic. They'll also be auctioned off for charity as well afterwards, raising money for very good causes. And I know, Maisie, you're going to do your bit for charity as well.
Yeah, we've been in touch with LA Inc. and we're trying to organise a few of the lads and lasses at MUTV, and some of the staff now at Manchester United are going to have the working bee tattooed. So just our little show of support for all those people who died at the Manchester Arena.
That's great stuff as well. And there's obviously a lot that people have done in support of everyone affected by that tragedy, and we're going to do our bit as well. Guys, thank you for your company today. Great to see you. Thank you to Dominic Monaghan as well. Great to have his company and yours as well. We'll see you soon here on MUTV. Bye bye.